Let us examine now the Five of Swords from the Rider Waite deck. First of all, we have swords. Swords have to do with the element of the mind, with air. And sometimes many of the sword cards have to do with conflict and struggle. Fives have to do with struggle and change, and sometimes conflict. The symbolic images of the card of the Five of Swords all relate to different aspects of being in a struggle, being in a fight, and the end result of a fight. There's three main figures on the card. It takes place, it looks like, on a battlefield or some ground. There is water, choppy water in the background. The water can be a symbol of the emotions involved in the situation. It's very active and very activated. And then a very jagged sky. This jagged sky seems to set the tone and the environment of the whole picture, which is they're almost storm clouds, and there has been a storm. A storm could be symbolic of a struggle, of a fight which has gone on, of a conflict, and the energy it has created in the atmosphere. If one has picked this symbolic card, they have to ask themselves, what has been the struggle I have been going through of late? Has it been in business struggle? Has it been in relationships? Or it even could be a struggle within one's own self for different, again, this is the card of the mind. Could be struggles within the mind, different ideas within us competing for prominence. In some struggles in life, certain situations, nobody wins. Or if one person wins, they don't necessarily win in the long run. And that's some of the images of what this card is bringing to us, those ideas. Let us examine first the biggest figure on the card, who has two swords in his left hand against his shoulder. He has one sword in his right hand facing towards the ground, and there's two other swords which are laying on the ground near him. They may be the swords of the two other people, his opponents. His face is full of contempt. He may have used methods and in order to win, which may have not been totally honest. He is his self-interest, the arrogance, the winning at all cost is part of the feeling you get from this victor, the person who has seemingly won. He may have won the fight, but maybe in the long run lost the battle. The colors of red and green on the as their clothes of the figure represents the anger and aggression and vindictiveness and gloating feeling of this ego person who has won this fight, won over others. And their ego is all the glory that they beat their opponents. And will they have to suffer themselves? You win one battle at one time and becomes... See, we have all the different characters within us. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. And one should not gloat when they won, because you may be in the same situation as the loser at another time in your life. He also could represent people who are gaining rewards from other people fighting. Let us look now at the figure who has lost the fight, the one on the right to the back. He's in dejected, he's in defeat, he's in sorrow. His hands are over his eyes. He is lost. He has a feeling of being dejected, of being disgraced, a feeling of suffering, because he was attached to winning. He didn't have the ability to fight. He really wasn't ready, or he just his opponent used wily ways to win, and his victory. He was a cunning, cheating opponent he faced, and he lost. His pride is hurt. And he's in pain. So that is one of the figures of this card, that sometimes we lose. And sometimes losing can be a great lesson. It can give us strength, and it could depends on how we deal with loss. It hurts our ego, but if we can pick ourselves up and let go of that and realize and give us the ability to examine our fights in a new way and realize, is it really worth where there's a winner and loser? Maybe we should look for fights where there's a win-win. That has been part of the new criteria of fighting. Look for situations where there's a win-win. And that seems to be a little bit about the third figure on the card, the one to the left with his back. He's turned his back from the battle. He realized the uselessness of the situation. He's given up his sword consciously. He says, I'm not going to fight. There's no reason that it's a useful situation to be in. He knows that some fights are worth fighting and others are not. And just the whole concept of fighting itself may not have validity. If you get attached to being the fighter, if you get attached and all the anger and hate you see the other person with, you've actually created an energy within your being which is not beneficial for anybody involved in the long run. That is the other question which comes up by the third figure for us to examine on this card. What is the use of fighting? And when is it a useful activity, and when is it just our ego and pride involved?